Oh, hey, 4 o'clock.
It's time.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Convention War Stories. Oh boy.
Hey.
There he is.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, can I say it?
Yes.
What is that?
Fair.
It's what?
It's fair.
It's a me. It looks stoned.
It's a
Okay,
me.
so yeah, that's definitely you, yeah.
Photo op, anybody?
I
So,
like
convention war stories. All of us run conventions. You would not, but this is one of those 15 pounds.
yes.
You wouldn't believe some of the fucking shit that goes on behind the scenes.
What part of 15 made you think that was okay?
I'm gonna say no,
15
South
part, yeah.
Valid point. That was a good answer.
The fact that in our society you base what is appropriate off of what you see on South Park.
I really like that show. It is terrifying. Just give me an idea of what's about to happen up here. We're not going to go with con-chair. We're going to go with estimated years at a leadership level, board level or higher. Poker, how long have you been, estimate, how long have you been a board member of furry conventions, or conventions in general? How many years?
I'd say 3 or 4.
3 or 4
I'm
years.
still young.
I am on my 7th year of doing board things, and hey, Uncle Kage, how many years have you been on a board-like position?
21.
Blackjack? How adorable.
I was gonna say I'm old enough to drink.
Your furry career is old enough to... Dear God!
My furry career is older than some of the people in this room. That's
That's true.
So we've been doing this for quite some time. One of the beautiful things about the furry... Beautiful, that was a word.
beautiful. You
I
sound
have
like
been...
you're from Philly.
Beautiful. One of the beautiful things about running cons that long is you get to see some shit. Now, we have a rule up here. We are only allowed to break that rule if all parties involved have agreed to it. We have a 2-year rule, so as long as it has happened outside of the last 2 years, we are allowed to talk about it. And no, we will not be naming names. So if you're here to just find dirt on people, just send me a telegram. I am gossipy. Which is totally untrue. We're very respectful of other people. However, that being said, there are things that happen behind the scenes of FurCons that you guys don't get to be a privy to for quite some time. I'm going to start over here with our good friend Poker. Now, you are on the board of directors at this con. This has been your only board membership, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to tell us oh, good, start drinking. Yes, that's going to help. Poker, would you like to tell us a story that has happened behind the scenes that these wonderful congoers might not know about while me and Sam continue to drink our poison?
Either here or anywhere. Oh, if you want one of these,
Sure,
Yeah,
why
you
not?
should.
Yeah. I'll save my voice a little bit.
I might need to save mine.
So I can tell about the time that the chairman almost got himself killed.
Oh, that's every con.
No, that's just
Oh, right.
So back at our old hotel at the Crown Plaza, a few years ago, our chairman at the time, was, walking around the hotel at night, making sure everything's okay, when he spots a bunch of people trying to climb out the second-story window.
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Now he is thinking, oh no, attendees are going out the window, I must stop them before they kill themselves. He goes over, grabs them, starts yanking them back in and screaming, "What are you doing?" To which he realizes he's now yanked in a bunch of soccer dads, completely plastered. So to make sure he didn't get beat up or anything, he just kept, doing the big dog, little dog thing. Little dogs, they just, to intimidate the big dog, they just don't stop barking. So he just wouldn't, kept, barking, yes.
a lot of barking. See, that's the thing. You have to realize, we're not always at these hotels alone. And that causes problems. And sometimes we have to alleviate those problems, even if it means making a fool out of ourselves.
That's our job.
Uncle Kage, did you ever have to stand up on a chair and make a fool out of yourself to alleviate a situation?
Couple times.
Would you care to tell us about one of those times?
Yeah.
And then he leaves. Like, yes, I would.
Hey, I hang out with Boozy Barrister. I answered your question, Counselor.
Got it!
Now, are we talking about an Apricon?
Yes, I am talking about Anthrocon.
The year the Yankees showed up?
Now, this would be the year the Yankees showed up. Now, this is an old story, guys. Give him a moment to collect his thought. He has not told this one in
It's
a
an
while.
old story, but has anybody not heard it?
Oh, dude.
Oh, it's sufficient.
Oh, yeah, no. You've been, we've been watching the crowd. This is a lot of new people coming to the fandom. It makes me
Okay.
super happy.
Okay.
Because it lets me tell stories for a while.
My wine froze, so I got a slushie. Okay. Okay. I'm the chairman of Anthrocon. It's a convention. And the hotel we were in was what? It is.
I'm sorry. I run Anthrocon. It's a convention. That's like saying, oh, yeah, I have the common cold. It's like AIDS. Like, no, it's not just a convention. It is Anthrocon. It is the biggest furry convention.
Not anymore.
It doesn't matter. It's all in my heart. It is the...
I am perfectly happy because when some shit goes down somewhere in the country, some furry is found doing something wrong, for the past 19 years, I would be the one getting the phone calls from CNN, from ABC, from all the news organizations. What do you have to comment on? As the chairman of the largest furry convention in the world, what is your position on this? Now, Midwest Fur Fest is the largest furry convention. When CNN calls, I said, let me give you a phone number.
I'm pretty sure, and this is the only gentleman I would ever accuse of doctoring the numbers for a con to make them lower. Just like, no, 4 people were here. Everyone shut the hell up.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. I can also neither confirm nor deny there was a request from a certain large furry convention for us to take some of their attendees. Anyway, the Westin Hotel, where it's the flagship hotel at Anthrocon for the past years, they used to have the Major League Baseball teams stay there that were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. The very first year we were there, it was the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers got trounced. And the Milwaukee Brewers announcer actually, on microphone, publicly blamed the furries because he said the guys didn't get any sleep because the furries were up howling all night. Well, the next year, I can't remember who the team was the second year, but they got trounced too. And then the third year, and I started thinking, maybe I should make a deal with the Pirates. Hey, you put them in this hotel, we'll make sure they don't get any sleep, okay? But then the New York Yankees showed up. Now, the Yankees, I never realized this. They're America's team, right? America's team! Apparently, that makes them a potential target for terrorism. And when the Yankees showed up with their security crew, the security crew came in and looked at this group of people with their faces hidden and said, oh, hell no! Went to the manager and, well, I was approached by my security chief, who's a little tiny Santa Claus-y guy, harmless looking fellow named Rennie.
Harmless.
Looking. Rennie came up and said, the hotel manager just asked us to clear everybody out of the lobby. So there's nobody in the lobby when the Yankees come through. And I said, what? I was completely off guard. What the hell do we do? Now, you know, okay, I have to say, it's furries. They're not going to take too kindly to us saying, you can't be here. So my mind was racing, and I grabbed my operations director. I said, okay, all right, you and Rennie, go down the lobby and start telling people, just like spread the rumor, that Uncle Kage is up in the second floor ballroom. He's drunk and out of control and telling stories the board of directors doesn't want him to. And they they said, okay, but what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to get ready. I had somebody give me a 1.5 liter bottle of White Zinfandel. I shotgunned the thing. And I wound up standing on a chair, holding someone's hand. I think it was Mock Stormrunner. As I'm up on the chair and I started telling the stories that the board didn't want me to tell. Let me tell you about what the hell's going on around here. And this went on. Everybody from the lobby came up to see. And the Yankees came through with no one in the lobby. And at some point, one of the security guys came through, gave me a high sign. All right, it's fine. And that's when, keep that on. That's that is when I told the assembled people, okay, I need to tell you something. I got to come clean. This was something of a ruse. We wanted you to come up here, but we didn't want to, tell you you had to. Here's the situation. We needed to have the lobby cleared because of a perfectly taken care of, don't worry, just a small security matter that's now seen to. But for everybody's well-being and safety, it's good that you're here. If you want to stay here, I'm going to keep drinking and talking. So that worked.
Not a single person left.
Now this
Four people came into the room.
This went on until I was done, I guess.
It was a while.
Now here's a funny thing that I've noticed about myself, and I suspect, Alkali, you have the same sort of thing. Yeah, we drink, we get drunk, but that's what we do. It's fun. But I have a certain capacity to sober up instantly when it's necessary.
Very much so.
Because as much as I was falling down, I was lifted down off that chair, and I said to my operations director, let's go down to the lobby, I want a word with the manager. And I went from sloppy drunk to, don't fuck with me. And the night manager, it threw me off because it was a lady, and I'm enough of a southern gentleman, I couldn't yell and curse at a lady.
Always happens.
But I said, can we go in the back, please? And I said, okay, I got my folks out of the lobby because you asked me to. And, that is our relationship, Amphicons' relationship with the hotel. You asked me to do it, and I did it. But I'm not going to do it again. My folks paid for their rooms. They paid to use that lobby. I don't know how much the Yankees are paying you, but we're paying you more. So, Renegade is his name. As I said, he's a little tiny, roly-poly. I mean, okay, he looks like the Charles Nash Santa Claus. The little chubby, rosy-cheeked guy. Yeah, they don't know what I'm talking about. Little rosy-cheeked guy, with the bowl full of jelly and all that stuff. He just looks like he should be giving toys out and saying ho, ho, ho. He's very, very gentle and quiet. And when the Yankees came in, again, with their security crew, the security chief from the Yankees looked around. Now, he spoke in New York. I will translate for you, because a lot of you do not speak New York. He came in and looked around and said, "The fuck?" Which in New York means, what indeed is going on here? He came up to one of our guys, "Yo, the fuck?" Which is, excuse me, can you explain what is going on here? The security guy said, "We're having a convention, sir." The guy's like, "The fuck?" Which is, what convention? So he was brought over here where Rennie was standing, little tiny Santa Clausy guy. And he looked at Rennie and said, "The fuck?" Which in New York is, didn't I ask to have this lobby cleared the other night of all these people with the masks on? And Rennie said, "Yes, you did." Because he speaks New York. He said, "Yes, you did, but, I'm afraid we can't do that because these are hotel guests, and we appreciate your position, but these folks have every right to be in the lobby. We are standing by to assist you with anything you need." And the security guy, since he realized that Rennie spoke English, he said, "You got to get these people out of here." And Rennie said, "Well, No, sir, I don't, and I'm afraid I can't. So, whatever assistance you need, my entire crew is here to help out. And this guy looked down at Rennie and he said, I'll have you know I used to be a cop. And Rennie said, well, that's nice. U.S. Army Airborne Ranger, 3 tours in Vietnam, bring him. That's why he's my security chief.
Now, I believe we had a person that is waiting to talk to the cockroach.
Oh, Mike, however did you know? Make my choice, I'll take all of them, thank you.
I knew it!
Of course, if I must make my choice, if I must make my choice, definitely give me this one. Or maybe this one. No, here, this one. Hang on. Yeah, this one.
That you're listening to it now?
It's talking.
You listen to your booze more than you listen to me, and I approve of that.
What? I'm sorry, were you talking?
You need to understand something about Rennie. I have an insane amount of respect for this gentleman. And,
Better.
Oh, yes. There was an incident that happened years and years ago that proved to me that he is basically a superhero. Because there was a convention that the hotels were not attached to the convention center. And the door side were...
Pause.
Go.
The Doorside Irregulars are a group of science fiction fans who provide volunteer services as security all over the country. When we say the Doorside, it's this group that is kind of a quasi-professional security group. Sorry.
No, don't be. They're very good at what they do. Well, they were offering people walks back to their hotel. It wasn't a bad area, but people felt safer. Well, it wasn't a bad area until Rennie was walking alone back to the hotel.
Little tiny Santa Claus again.
Little tiny, very tiny.
He's only like a foot tall.
And I think you're a little off, but not by much.
He used to be a lot taller, but his spine was shattered in a parachute accident. So,
You don't
sorry.
tell that story.
I've never.
Well, this gentleman, walking back to the hotel, was accosted in an alleyway. As he describes it, a youth pulled a knife on him. Said, sir, probably not sir, said, give me your wallet.
It was in New York. It was the fuck.
The fuck.
Give me the fuck.
Rennie, without missing a beat, said, son, you don't want to do this.
Allow me to correct you. I'm sorry.
Please.
The line was, son, you need a new line of work.
The kid took a step towards him. Rennie responded with, son, I warned you. The youth took one more step. I don't need to tell you the rest of the story because it ends with, I was sitting in a hotel lobby when Rennie walks in, hands me a switchblade knife and says, hold on to this for me. Somebody might come looking for it. What really happened is this airborne ranger, this Vietnam veteran, immediately disarmed the youth, pushed him away, and if I remember correctly, he said, son, I did tell you, and then just walked away. And got a new knife out of it.
Renegade actually has a collection of weapons that were used on him that he has helped himself to.
Yes. He's an amazing man. He is, his stories are not only terrifying, but they make you wonder what the hell is going on in our military division.
By the way, a little point of safety. Rennie is a fun fellow, but don't try any sort of practical jokes that involve surprising him. Just don't, okay? Just don't. Your turn! Actually, wait. What about, that...
You talking about it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, why? Fine. Jerry.
It's not my con, that's why it's funny.
The first year that Indy FurCon moved to its new hotel. Now, here's the thing about the growth of the furry fandom. This is a new hotel this year, correct?
Yes, it is.
How much of the hotel, if you know, your programming, so you may not, do you know the percentage of the hotel that you have rented out for the weekend?
I'd say about half, maybe?
Half.
A third.
A third.
Our block got cut short by football fans.
Okay.
The fuck?
It's a football game downtown.
The fuck?
So that gives you an idea. Sometimes we don't take over the whole hotel. Now, you can get saddled with a lot of different groups.
45%.
What's up?
45%.
45. You can get saddled with a lot of different groups. Christians usually cause problems. We've had soccer moms, cheerleading groups, military weddings, which was hands down the best. They canceled the wedding and came over to our dance. The bride and groom went to the furry rave for their wedding in uniform with their friends, and it got awkwardly awesome. But, and I wouldn't call this the worst, it was definitely one of the scariest. The Little League Championships happened to be taking place in Indianapolis the same weekend as MyCon Indy Fur Cup. And we were sharing the hotel, a very large hotel with 50% furries and 50% Little Leaguers and their parents. And at some point, either the parents told the children or the children figured it out by themselves. They thought, well, if we break anything, we could just blame it on the furries. So there they were in the courtyard playing baseball.
In a courtyard surrounded by glass windows, I might add.
And fursuiters. Well, this came to me, I was sitting in operations, I get the call over the radio that we have children playing baseball in the courtyard, things are getting damaged, and there's a bunch of fursuiters out there. So I go to the courtyard, apparently that had been 5 minutes since the incident started. And you're furries. You are furries. So instead of walking outside and finding a bunch of children trying to play baseball in an area where they should not be, I found a pickup game, fursuiters versus minors. They had set up bases using chairs, and I came outside just in time to see a member of my staff in his fursuit sliding into home bar. Just sliding into the outdoor bar, slamming into it, and just things falling over as all the kids went, yay! And in the corner, one of the fathers just standing there with a cigarette. And I walked over and said, what the hell is going on? He says, they're finally getting along. So we kind of let that one slide.
Slide.
So this one's probably one of our more well-known horror stories. So last year, during the final day of the convention, we noticed that the roof was just having a tiny little bit of a water drip leak. Oh, no. And we thought, okay,
It's a water
this isn't...
feature.
It was a water feature, yes. We knew this wasn't good, but we figured, okay, it can't be that bad, so we'll just stick, a garbage can underneath, we'll stack a bunch of chairs where it's dripping, no one will sit there, everything will just be fine. And then during the closing ceremony storyline, one of the characters says, "We must go, the world is about to explode." And then the roof caves in and there's a waterfall.
I love the special effect.
Let it be known that we have the best special effects of any convention.
Let's try this one. I always love this game. Out of context radio calls.
I'm going to leave now.
Why don't you stay? Let's start with one that this gentleman is very intimate with.
Hey, has anyone put out the fire?
This is Con Chair to programming. Do you mean the barbecue?
Yeah.
Please call it a barbecue from this point forward.
I found the poppers.
Do you mean the novelty popping discs?
Yes?
Please call them novelty popping discs.
I found a needle. And there goes all of safety team running.
The best part of I found a needle was I was sitting in security. So, this is operations. We have found a needle, and everyone's security jumped up and like started strapping on belts and just like, yes, this is our time to shine, like bandoliers of tear gas. And I was gonna, I need a sewing needle, and the security went, oh, and they didn't take anything off, but they sat down.
You had mentioned sharing a hotel. Something happened to me. I'm not going to name the convention, but it took place in Atlanta. An unnamed convention in Atlanta. The hotel was being shared with some evangelical Christians. This particular convention, the highest level of sponsorship, they have a badge that says God level. I know of a certain older gentleman who wears a lab coat who was walking down the hallway and found himself surrounded by a fairly significant number of evangelicals who demanded to know why he was wearing a badge that said God level. Fortunately, this gentleman has a degree in science and is a comic and can think quickly.
What
He
did that
said,
gentleman say?
oh my, it's so embarrassing. They were supposed to say gold level. But when they arrived this morning, we realized they left the L out of it, and it's too late to get new ones made. They said, oh, okay.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, it's called Think Fast, Rabbit.
The first year of First Square. Now, First Square, and I'm very proud of, it's a convention that I have the opportunity to start against this bastard's better judgment. I sent him an email. I was like, hey, Uncle Kage, I know we've known each other for a little while. I'm actually thinking about starting my own convention. There's no convention. And I sent this a huge dissertation. Like, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And he sent me back an email. That email has been printed, framed, and is hanging in my office right now. All it said was this in 72.5. You're a fucking idiot.
Although, to be fair, it has grown into a fantastic convention.
Thank you
And
very much.
it causes my heart such grief that I've not been able to go. I really wish I could go to First Square at some time.
Want to come this year?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a guest now. No problem.
that's how it works.
Hey, Dragor, make Kage a guest! He might be
First
here.
class airfare, please.
Oh, first class, fine. This is how this works
A
now.
lot of this.
Oh, and that I've got you on. Well, first year, same problem that normally happens. We did not fill up the hotel. No one fills up the hotel in your first year. If you think you're going to fill up the hotel, you wouldn't go to that hotel.
No.
So, we only filled up half. The other half, instead of having one group to worry about, they had multiple small groups. One of them was a church group, one of them was some kind of a cheerleading group, and one of them was a youth soccer team. It was Saturday night.
It's the perfect storm.
Oh yes. Saturday night, I was standing in my hallway. Furries are having a good time. Very proud of everyone. There hasn't been a lot of incidents. We haven't had a lot of problems.
You said that out loud, didn't you?
I thought it out loud. Well, I looked over, and there was one of the soccer moms with her 2 children. They were playing with a fursuiter who I know very well, absolute sweetheart, who was standing there entertaining the children. And they're petting over the fursuit, and these kids are having the time of their lives, and it really warmed my heart. Until I looked up and saw coming down the hallway 2 of my friends, 2 staff members. wearing latex dog hoods, harnessed, and pants, and nothing else. Now, the children who were petting the fursuiter looked over to the leather dogs, and they started to move towards them. And their mother, this short, suburbanite soccer mom, softly laid her hands on her children's shoulders and said, "No, no, dears, don't touch those doggies. They're dirty." Now, I am an adult, and I think that sometimes the furry fandom does need an adult place to hang, but I also don't think that we should put that into everybody's faces. If you want to have an adult panel, that's fine. There are places out in Buckeye that you can have your panel. And of course, the rubber dog hood, the leather dog panel, you know what, that doesn't bother me too much. But what does bother me is the person who created that panel to this day at First Squared has called it, "Don't touch those dogs, they're dirty." And that has been in my con book for 5 years.
These, by the way, are the chairman fingers. Let me see your chairman fingers.
Chairman, I have a full cover. I don't want to see it.
Okay, and yours, yeah. Oh, he uses all 5.
Oh, he's got, oh,
Mine
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lake Takaza, he used to do right across the eyes,
Yep.
like this. Sven in Europe, for instance, his are like the guy at the New York Con.
Jesus!
Yeah, they're, you know.
The fuck?
I got it.
Was it running away?
I was trying to. That's too fast.
You're good, dude. You're
slowing
doing
down, I'm
good.
slowing down.
That's the thing. Who was here for our first Fur Cup? Who was here for the first Fur Cup? Well, yeah, we were here. We ran the.
You asked.
Valid point.
Answer the question.
There's something that we say that's know your limits. Know your limits is really important to us because if you were at First FurCon, you know that most of our problems behind the scenes involve unconscious fursuiters who should have eaten, who should have had water, and who didn't.
Or should not have gotten drunk and then put a pursuit on. Forgot that part.
Bingo. Because don't forget, alcohol dehydrates you. And if you're in a fursuit, that also dehydrates you. Double dehydration. You're going to die.
You're going to get the double D.
Double time.
So sometimes, we have alcohol-related incidents. So rare. So rare.
Oh.
And sometimes those alcohol-related incidents don't come necessarily from just a straight attendee. Sometimes they come from your...
Never mind. Sorry, carry on.
Good.
Sorry, carry on.
Sometimes they come from somebody who's your guest. You know, like a cockroach, or worse, the charity.
Oh. What? Oh, that's okay. Yeah, the charity about to kill somebody last night.
So, no, this was not, we told you, 2 years out. 2 years out.
Okay.
We're not going to mention the con or the charity, but you'll, if you know the story, you'll know who we're talking about. There was a charity group who does an amazing thing. Their charity is to find dogs who are overseas in battle zones, basically war dogs, bring them back, rehabilitate them, and then give them as service animals to people who were also overseas with PTSD. It's an amazing charity. We were very happy to have them, but we found out later they were very leery about coming out to us. These are old war dogs. These are old people that did not know what the fandom was and weren't sure how to feel about it. But you know what? When you run a charity and somebody says, hey, you want to come out here and make thousands of dollars, you listen. Well, according to their president, it took them an hour. It took them 1 hour to realize that they were among some of the greatest people they would ever meet. And boy, did they let their guard down. So, they started to feel bad about what they were expecting coming into the con. They felt so bad, in fact, that they were making a point to become better friends with this amazing community that has been so generous. An hour! It took them an hour to realize what we do. It took them 4 hours to get roaring goddamn drunk. Amateurs. Well, we're going to go to the end of the night. I'm doing a final round around the convention. I've gone to the lower level, and I see on a desk, person. This is the radio call that went out. This is security to Charity? This is Charity, go ahead. We've got a half-naked Charity bear laying on the information desk. Please advise. This is Charity going off radio. This is operations. Could you please repeat that? You heard me. This is operations to security? This is security. We're not touching this one. The gentleman had went to a room party, got roaring drunk, shed his clothes down to his boxers, and took a nap on the information desk in the middle of the convention floor.
He is one of us.
We don't know what to do with that! Yeah, half-naked Charity bear on the information desk. Man, I love him.
Well, being security, I know what to do with that.
Make a guest of honor.
Yeah.
There's been incidents with guests of honors.
Yeah, there have been some incidents with guest of honors in the past. Yeah.
Measure your next words carefully.
Yes, let's hear
So
it.
we kind of lost a guest of honor here for reality a few years ago. I think there's someone at this table who can tell that one way better than I ever could.
Oh, I think so.
Kage, would you like to tell them about how we lost you?
Sure.
I know, I forgot though.
It was my first year here at this amazing little yeah, for reality. Here in the state of confusion that we are. In all seriousness, I was thrilled. Anytime somebody says, Uncle Kage, we want you to be our guest of honor, it floors me because it's like, wow, me? I'm an old drunk who talks too much. And it really, it means a lot to me, and I want to try to give my all. So the email said, it's the standard guest of honor email. Yeah, we'll take care of your airfare. We'll get you a hotel room. They didn't mention more of that, but I got to.
No one's got that much money.
I got to Cincinnati Airport. At first, I was a little floored because there's a sign that says "Welcome to Kentucky." I'm like, what? Oh, right, I get it. Okay. So, typically, if you're a guest, when you get off the plane, you go up to the baggage claim area and somebody has a sign that says, Conway or Uncle Kage or something, or there's somebody obviously there to meet you, and you get your bags and you go with them. Well, I went up and I didn't see anybody that looked like they were looking for me, so I waited. Now, those of you who have come through Cincinnati Airport, it's not exactly a major bustling metropolitan airport. After about 16 seconds, everybody was gone because the flight had now, dispersed. And I was all by myself in the bank claim area. No one was there at all. And I thought, okay, well, let me look at the email. I don't want to be presumptuous. The email said, we will take care of your airfare and your hotel. It didn't say, we'll take care of your airport transportation. So I said, well, maybe that's supposed to be on me. So I said, I shall get the airport transportation. And I went to the little taxi counter, and I said, hello, I'd like a taxi, please. And they said, where do you want to go? I said, I don't know. Here, let me have a look. They had a little issue with their website, their mobile website that year. It didn't actually say where the convention was. All it said was hotel. Sorry, hotel rooms are sold out. but it didn't say where they were sold out from. But I did a little searching, and after about 10 or 15 minutes, I found a cached web page from the dealer's information page. This is where you send your stuff. And it mentioned, what was the Crowney Plaza in Blue Ass or something like that. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah. And so I went, okay, I need to go to Blue Ass. And they said, okay, well, that's like $65. I said, well, if you got it, you got it. So I got in the taxi, and, well, there was enormous traffic. I mean, as soon as you got out of the airport, blam, it was just stopped. Some idiot had an accident or something. I know that rarely happens on 75, but... So we're sitting there, and we're creeping along, and all of a sudden, I'm bored, so I'm looking at my phone, and I get a little ping from this man. I don't give my phone number to people, period. Don't fucking call me. Don't interrupt me. I don't like it. He's allowed, if it's important.
It's important.
And it's a ping from Alkali saying, dude, are you okay? There's a lot of people worried about you. Where are you? So I sent back, well, I am in a taxi on the highway. My ETA is about 45 minutes. Incidentally, you might want to tell them that they didn't put the hotel information on their mobile website. And he sent back, it's the Crowney Plaza in Blue Ass. Now, some of you may not know this about me, the personal detail. I actually was born with a birth defect. Most people are born with a little angel and a little devil. I was born with two devils. And I started to type in, you mean it's not the Holiday Inn Express in Louisville? And I was gonna send it, and then I thought, you know, someone might die before I have a chance to send back, just kidding. So I sent back, well, don't worry, I'm on my way. Poor Tack just looked like he was fixed to be tied. And he was embarrassed, he was humiliated, and I said, dude, I am the last person you need to apologize to. I know how this shit happens. Don't worry about it. I'll get a good story out of it. It had been a very, very simple miscommunication. You have two ways to pick a person up with a professional driving service. Curbside pickup or meet and greet inside with the sign. It had gotten communicated to the pickup people, pick him up at the curb, he'll be outside. But I was inside. This shit happens. I was not at all upset. As a matter of fact, I couldn't wait for 2 years to pass so I could tell him.
You didn't even wait 2 years. You told it that day.
No,
Yeah,
I
fuck you.
told it. He did not. I told it.
Oh.
Yeah, he was safe.
I know.
You did.
You did.
Well, shall we go with a classic?
Which one?
By the way, how much time do we have?
We have 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
10 minutes. We were talking about water features earlier.
Oh, dear God.
There's a drop down for a
God damn it. So we're going to go with the night that ended with the water feature because this was the cacophony of errors. Now, if you don't know what MST3K is, that means you weren't here last night. MST3K, better known as Furry Mistake, is a panel that we created years ago that is as simple as we sit here, we watch a movie, you guys make drinking rules, the panelists drink. That's the extent of the panel. Well, on this particular date, we were watching The Faculty. The Faculty is a movie about being a shitty movie. As far as I could tell, that's what the movie was about. And one of the rules that you guys had created was, anytime there is water on the screen, drink. And we're like, oh yeah, the pool, the rain. Okay, that's a good one. That's at least like $50. The guy's like, yeah, 50, sure. We forgot about water fountains. We forgot about glasses of water. We forgot about, we almost died. So I am Vishtucker. I am gone. Now he talked earlier about what happens when you're drunk and an emergency happens, how quickly you sober up. So there I was, myself, Des, and other panelists. I needed to go break the seal. I left the room, I walked over to the restroom, I took a whiz, and on my way out of the restroom, the director of finance, Todd, his face as red as a tomato, sweating bullets, sees me, alkali, here, now, and just turns around and runs towards the elevator. He's like, that is important. So I sobered up, kinda. I got into the elevator with him, and he was out of breath. He only had to go up 2 floors, so he didn't really have time to explain it to me. And all he could say is, Petey, you gotta help the con chair. Like, what's wrong? And he said, wrestling. He got up to the 4th floor. Now, Todd had run away from the situation to go get help. Remember what I told you guys earlier about if you see something, somebody needs to stay at the situation, somebody needs to go get help? Todd went to get help. Our con chairman, Roxas, stayed at the situation. Or here was the situation. The 4th floor, the staff floor. An attendee who had imbued in something other than alcohol. Imbibed. I said imbued, didn't I? Impubed. Who puked something other than alcohol, was walking down the hallway, screaming John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt at the top of his lungs, punching light fixtures. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt! That's my name too. Roxas, who was on that floor, the con chairman, was getting ice. And he saw the gentleman and said, sir, would you mind stopping? And he looked at him, I'm John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt! And Roxas remembered his train. I put training in quotation marks because Roxas loves to watch professional wrestling. And he saw his moment. I think he pile drived the kid. I don't know. I don't want to know. But according to Todd, all of a sudden he heard, what bam! I'm John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt! What bam! Opened the door and our con chairman is sitting on a con attendee who is laying on stuff and just kicking our con chairman with his really weird, messed up, backwards legs. Just kicking rocks. It's like, go get help. So Todd went and got me. I came upstairs and I see this gentleman kicking our con chairman. Like, what did you do? And Roxas yells at me, he's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, help me out! So I run over there, I grab the guy's legs, whatever, and we deal with the situation until security gets there. Well, as we're sitting there, Des comes up in the elevator. Des at the time was our director of social media. And Des comes up the elevator, sees what's going on, helps us out. We spend the rest of the night with police. We spend the rest of the night, this is a huge problem, this is a huge incident. That part's not entertaining, it's not even fun. It was dealt with. You need to understand. You need to understand from a different point of view what happened. So let's take this whole story from a different point of view. Alkali the alcoholic is sitting at a table drinking with his friends. He has imbued far too much. He stumbles out of the room claiming he needs to go to the bathroom. I like imbued, apparently, imbibed. He imbibed way too much. He has now walked out of the room claiming he needs to go to the bathroom and does not come back. Security walks into the room, finds Des, walks out of the room with him. They all leave the room. The movie continues on for another half hour. The movie lets out. Everyone leaves the room, looks downstairs, sees the front door where there are multiple ambulances and cop cars, and everyone thought I died. There was a rumor for 2 years in this fandom that I was taken to the hospital, and that escalated to the point where it's like, did you know Alkali died for 5 minutes at IFC? But here's the thing. Remember our rule at the beginning of this whole panel that we don't talk about anything till 2 years out? That's not just this panel. That's a pretty standard convention running rule. If something happens, you don't talk about it. We had a major incident, and we were presented with something that was basically, we don't need to talk about it. So the entire board of directors was like, yep, Alkali almost died. And as we're figuring this out, as we're deciding that I'm just going to be the scapegoat, like, yep, I got so drunk I needed to take an ambulance ride. We went over to operations and walked into the room to see our new water feature. A torrent of water spilling from the ceiling onto the operations computer. And Candace walks into the room and goes, nope! Turns around to Kelly, who is our liaison to the hotel. She works for the hotel. Like, she's like, oh, do you like? Not necessarily. She goes, you will in a moment, it wasn't you. We're like, yes! Not our guys! Like, so the person above this room wasn't a furry? She's like, nope, the person above this room is definitely a furry. Like, oh, you thought you said it wasn't you? It wasn't their room. The person above them was a furry? She goes, nope, they're a furry. The person above them, she goes, made a grilled cheese sandwich using their ironing board, left the tub running, and went to bed. Not a furry. Okay. Grilled cheese with an iron board? She's like, oh yeah, it's very common, and walked away from me. So if nothing else, I taught you guys how to make a grilled cheese sandwich while you're at a con, so have fun.
You know, you caused me to think of an incident at an unnamed convention that takes place in Germany. No, I'm not going to name it, but it takes place in Germany.
You wouldn't want to name it.
In Europe. I'll go ahead.
It's Europe, and it has this heating unit, this furnace.
It goes along with the, you can sober up very quickly when you need to. It was Sunday morning of the con, and, you know, it's Europe. You know, they have wine with their breakfast, so I was being European. By about 10 in the morning, I was already, like, done. I was stumbling around, and Wolf, their communications director, came up and said, oh, Uncle Kage, could you talk to someone, please? I'm like, wow, I've been talking to a lot of people. How many people you want me, oh, there you go. How many people you want me to talk to? Where is he? He said, come talk to this man, please. This guy, oh, hi! Oh, dude, you're rocking that mustache. It's not as good as Hitler's, but dude, it's like, so what, it's, who the fuck are you anyway? And Olaf says, das ist der Bürgermeister von Magdeburg.
Oh!
If you speak German, this is the mayor of Magdeburg. Ah! Very pleased to meet you, sir. Do you speak English? He said, nein. I said, good. Afterward, I went to Olaf. I said, dude! What the hell were you thinking? He said, but you're always so good at talking. So I said, I was fucking drunk off my ass! He said, you couldn't tell the difference. That's all true. My mom's a witness, she'll tell you.
We have just enough time, I think, if you're cool with it. One of my all-time favorites.
Which one?
Uncle Kage, do you like escalators?
No. That's
Do you like escalators at fursuit parades? Year 2, my friend. All you.
No, you were there.
Oh, shit! Well, this gentleman, year 1, that Anthrocon took their parade outside. I am not able to fursuit in the Anthrocon parade. It is too long, I will die. So I just go and enjoy it. And I was lucky enough to find my buddy, and we stood outside watching the parade go by. It was wonderful. It was so good. The whole community, Pittsburgh, is out watching a fursuit parade in a bright sunny day. A cloudless sky. Hey, is that a guy in a green Zentai suit, definitely not wearing anything over his junk?
Yes.
Oh, good. How about that guy? Is that a fursuiter with the Confederate flag on his suit?
Yes. The people don't seem to like either one of them.
No, they did not.
It's too late now to stop them, isn't it?
It was very too late. Even though you tried, I watched you crawl over Ronnie, and I should stop that sentence right there.
Actually, no. Ronnie is a kung fu expert. I was like, get that guy out of my parade.
He just throws a smoke bomb, and you're in Pittsburgh. So he asked me, he's like, Uncle Ike, next year, would you do me a kindness and join me at the top of the escalator so we could watch the suits going past? To help the escalator, but also to say,
You know.
I said, absolutely. So next year, we find ourselves at the top of the escalator. And the problem does not, I don't think we stopped anyone, right?
No, it was fine that year.
was
Because
totally
we told them, we will fucking kill you.
Yeah. Well, there was a totally different problem that year because this genius man put a marching band at the front of the parade.
It sounded like such a great idea.
I would have done the same thing. I don't disagree with you. I thought it was a wonderful idea, but here's the thing. Furries who have been in multiple fursuit parades, who've done this for years and years, they know there's one rule to fursuit parades. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. The marching band did not know that. The parade starts from their ballroom K. You have way too much space. It leaves the ballroom and goes to a double escalator. 2 giant 3-story escalators that are going down. Well, all of a sudden, from the bottom of the escalator here, stop! And
Just like that.
Oh yes!
We both turn around, and there's this line of fursuiters backed up, and 3/4 of the way up the escalator, fursuiters just backstepping to stay in place on the escalators.
Because the parade has become backed up all the way to the escalators. And Kage, oh my God! And runs down the stairs. I put my hands up like, you should stop and save your lives. As he's screaming, get those fursuiters moving! He heads screaming down the steps to find out what's going on. A few minutes later, the steps clear off. He comes back and gives me the high sign, which looked exactly like this. All right, that means go. So we sent them down. And I couldn't stop laughing. Because that whole time, the escalator was still going. And that must have been the first rotation. And there must have been a fursuiter who had a very close call. Because one of the steps was covered in neon green hair as it came back to the top. All I could do was like, Sam, we got one!
I didn't tell you about when the parade was done. You remember Renegade, my security chief? I saw Renegade in the distance. He looked at me, he went. He said, Kagi, he calls me Kagi. We're not going to have a marching band again, are we? I said, no, sir. He said, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Convention War Stories. Welcome, my name is Alkaline. It's your guest. It's the match game. Thank you very much. Enjoy the convention and good night.
I could put it in my chiller because you know the wine
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.